Hello, everyone. Last weekend, we had the lowest Memorial Day weekend at the cinemas in almost 30 years. And some people are saying, are the movie theaters dying? Is cinema dead? Why aren't people going to the movies anymore? Well, for starters, it's just too expensive to go to the movie theaters now. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to bring a brief vlog and kind of just discuss the movie-going experience currently. I'm no expert, but things are expensive. Inflation is all around us. People, the last thing on their mind is going to the movies. When you're trying to survive, you're trying to pay for gas, you're trying to pay your rent, electricity, groceries, and that's just on an individual. If you have a family, even more so. Things are hard for everyone right now. But on top of that, you had Furiosa and Garfield. Garfield's not as large as it was when I was growing up, and Furiosa is a prequel to a film that came out 9 years ago, in which you don't have Mad Max in it, and you also don't have the same actress, Charlize Theron, playing Furiosa. Even though Anya Taylor-Joy does a great job, you just don't have the factors that made that movie. But on top of that, Fury Road was a modest box office success. There's so many outside factors. Going with Furiosa's numbers, Memorial Day weekend had the highest number of travel we've seen in a number of years. Why go to a theater when you can go outside? It was a beautiful Memorial Day weekend. People were off traveling, they were doing things. Why go into a theater? And as a cinephile and filmmaker, going to the movies felt like such a sacred event. It was like my church, outside going to church every Sunday. Going to the cinemas was like my place of worship, for different films. And pre-COVID, it was an experience that was like no other. Even though you still had certain people have poor audience etiquette, and I'll go into that. I never once thought about watching stuff on digital or at home. I always was excited to see a movie in the theater. And now, after COVID, after everything, not so much. And I don't know if it's just age or just the state of movie-going has changed drastically for a number of reasons. And part of that is that it's too expensive. And now, I know you don't have to get the popcorn or the drinks, but there's a luxury experience there, the communal experience. And the tickets, the cheapest, I think, if you go to a matinee is like $8. And sometimes certain theaters price gouge on certain movies. Like I know Dune and Furiosa were a bit more expensive than Ghostbusters tickets. And you can also catch a discount day. That's not a problem. You can save up. But like, say if you want to have the complete experience, you want to go see a movie, it'd be $8 to maybe $13 for a movie ticket if you're not going to go see it on like a premium format. Otherwise, it'd be like 18 or 20 bucks, for multiple people. But even like $10.78 to like maybe $15, $16 for just me. Plus $13 just for a small popcorn and a Sprite. When I went to go see Ghostbusters, a small popcorn and a drink cost just $13 on its own, plus a movie ticket price, and that was on a discount day. I could have probably bought the Blu-ray. That's just for me. I never used to be that expensive just for me as an individual. Now, where I live, movie theater tickets aren't as expensive as, say, the West Coast, but still, they've gone up since pre-COVID. And the concessions are way overpriced. And I know they need to charge more to make money, but it's just greed and just inflation upon inflation. And there is no other experience like seeing a movie on the big screen, but then on top of that, you get disruptions. I've had so many horrible movie theater experiences, and most of them have been from the past year or two. On Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I went to see it, and there was a bunch of college girls just being disruptive. Or if I go to a movie like Dune or Ghostbusters, there's younger people, like Gen Zers on their phone. There's even older people talking. I'm talking about like 40 and 50-year-olds being disruptive. Like, they should know better. Audience etiquette is out the window. Now, like middle school and high schoolers, they do get annoying. I had that experience happen on The Flash last year where these two middle school, high schoolers were just like being disruptive the whole damn time. And it was already a packed theater. And that was already kind of like a mediocre movie that I was having just a bad experience. It just ruins it even more. You just don't want to experience that, And, younger kids, I kind of give the benefit of the doubt because they're teenagers. They do just dumb shit, you know. But like adults should know better. They should have more audience etiquette. Or you have somebody let their kid run around. I know when I saw Godzilla Minus One, halfway through the movie, this father showed up late with his kid. His kid was kind of like sick, and he just had his kid run around everywhere. And for a little bit, it got kind of annoying until like that one sequence when Godzilla showed up. Then the kid kind of quieted down, but like, just makes your eye roll. You have people talking about stuff during the previews, or, oh, look at this happening. Like, they feel like they're in their living room now. And it just creates a horrible experience. Now, pre-COVID, I had some bad experiences. My father and I saw Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and this man came in halfway through. You could tell he didn't pay for a ticket. Comes in, sits right behind us, and then it's just like belching the whole time. My dad and I moved. He was just fucking disgusting, you know? And then John Wick 2, same thing. Somebody came in halfway through, started laughing and being disruptive over John Wick 2's action, and it like ruined the sequel for me. I seriously wanted to shove a number 2 pencil in his skull, like just...
It's gone. Pencil!
Or you get people who like to kick your seat. It's like being in an airplane, you know? Different things like that. I saw Top Gun Maverick in the midst of like the end of the pandemic. It was a great experience, but this older couple was next to me and they were like coughing with their mouths open, and god damn did that annoy me. Like while we were still in the pandemic. It's just very inconsiderate and just being a bunch of like, the experience at the theater is just not worth it dealing with that when I can go home, watch it on a 4K TV with Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos sound, have my own damn popcorn and drinks much cheaper than the theater, pause it, go to my own restroom when I need to for restroom breaks, and not have to worry about any disruptions. And I own it for the price of going to the theater, and I can watch as many times as I want. And that's if it's a sure thing. I don't like doing blind buys. But it's just crazy right now, the movie-going experience. COVID impacted the box office as well as the strikes. And I'm not blaming the strikes because they were very much needed in an industry that was screwing over the talent. But it's one of those things where like you're starting to feel the effects of it, you know. I didn't feel like going to the movie theaters anymore. Like after Ghostbusters, besides the movie itself, the experience of it kind of like ruined the movie in a way. Like the movie was already kind of had its flaws, but the experience dealing with disruptions and people on their phones and talking, just poor audience etiquette, did it for me. On top of that, I didn't even mention the biggest part. They play 40 minutes worth of previews. It used to be that I used to rush to go to a movie. I don't want to be late. I want to see the previews. I want to have an experience. I don't want to feel like I'm rushed. I want to arrive on time. Now I can go ahead and be 30 minutes late and the previews will still be on. And on top of that, it's not even just regular trailers. We have like television ads. I could watch something on YouTube and deal with ads. I already get that on the internet for free. Why do I need to see that at the cinema, you know? Like, oh, the experience has just been nerve-wracking. Going to the movies has lost its luster, it's lost its magic. And some of that too with streaming. I got used to the same-day releases. I actually personally love that. But despite them losing money, the studio's losing money on that, they shortened the theatrical window. And I think it's not only... I think it's expensive on both sides. Expensive for the moviegoer to pay to see a movie, but some movies don't need to be $200 and $300 million. Did Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny need to cost almost $300 million? Hell no. Some of that too is inflation with the COVID protocols and having to disrupt production. Like Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1, that inflated so much during COVID with the disrupted production. But like, there's certain movies like Flash and Indiana Jones last year that were just so disappointing. And I'm like, why did they cost that much? You see something like Godzilla Minus One or like a John Wick 4, and like that looked amazing for their budget, you know? Like, why do movies need to cost that much? I saw some of the best movies I've seen have been on streaming, like Musica this year was great. Lisa Frankenstein was a cool movie. It didn't get that much money, sadly, but like, you don't need to make movies cost that much, and you also lose out. You can just lower the budget so you don't have to worry about losing out on that much money. And also going into that, they lowered the theatrical window. And it's not bad on streaming, but people can wait. If you're going to pay as much going out to the movie theaters, you might as well wait till it's on streaming, rent it for $5.99 when it's out on Blu-ray or streaming, or just if you have a family, like a family of 4 or 5, just rent the damn thing or buy it straight out when it hits digital or it comes out on Max or Peacock or whatever, you know, or Paramount Plus. Just wait for that. It's not only convenience, but it's like the price of things for that convenience, you know? Do you really want to pay that much to have just a miserable experience, or do you just want to be at home, you know? And, you know, with COVID, people have kind of become distant towards one another, but I also feel like there's a certain sense of etiquette that is missing in theaters now, and it's annoying. Another thing with projection in the experience, TVs. I used to have a small 10-inch TV. The movie theaters were the experience. Now with 4K TVs, I have maybe like a 29-inch TV or whatever. It's bigger, but then there's like 40-inch, 6-inch. You can get it cheap. I mean, as much as you go to other places, save up, you can get them cheap with Dolby Vision and a multimedia player. If you have a game console that can play movies, it's a pretty good experience, you know? And Cinemark theaters are really guilty of this. I hate it when you go to Cinemark and they don't have the projector, like the image, properly projected to fill the entire aspect ratio of the projector screen. You could actually see the widescreen bars. It looks like they just put a damn DVD or Blu-ray, which they most likely did without the film projectors, on there. And I feel like I get better quality at home. You know, this ain't like the old days where they used to have an actual film projector that had the little blinking thing to know which reels to switch from, and it had that clear, crisp look. Now, some theaters do have film projectors, some IMAX theaters even. I know there's one in Texas where I used to be in Austin at Bob Bullock Museum. Love that. Wonderful IMAX. But you just look and you're like, I'm paying this much to get something off a DVD or a Blu-ray? What the hell? Quentin Tarantino talked about this in a video. You know what I mean? It's just the experience of it. And I want to know out there, what has changed over time from when y'all were growing up to now? To me, I think if they lowered down the prices a little bit, whether it be the concessions or even just the movie tickets, really, I think it would be better. It'd be a better experience. And that's if you're going to have audience etiquette. Now, usually I like to go during a weekend or a weekday or after it's showing, and I don't have to be around a lot of people. Initially, that was for germs with the pandemic, but now it's just to avoid it really is. And it's crazy to see what has happened in the industry, and it just pains me to say this. Before the pandemic, I couldn't even fathom saying I'm never going to go see another movie in the theater this year. I'm on the fence on Bad Boys 4. Deadpool and Wolverine, I really want to see it because of Hugh Jackman. The movie I'm definitely going to see, the two movies I really want to see in theaters are Beetlejuice, and Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. But you have some great movies like Richard Linklater's Hitman that's an original idea with Glenn Powell. Nobody wanted to buy it from the studios. Netflix is showing it. That's something that should have been in theaters. It's limited release, but still, that's something that should have been a wide release. Beverly Hills Cop 4. I know it's late, but that's going to be on streaming. Probably better than half the movies I've seen. It's crazy. And then if you don't have movies that were meant to be in the big screen on streaming, you have movies that are on the big screen that should have definitely been on streaming, that feel like one of those fake movies you see on Apple or Prime Video or Netflix. Some movies just should be there. And some movies don't appeal in the market, you know. Some people are like, I'm going to wait for that to be on streaming. We're more selective now as an audience member, not only because of the inflation, pandemic, but I think with all the remakes, sequels, and just franchise films, you can tell the studios are doing it for money and not very much for the art, you know, and that's starting to show. But it's interesting seeing the change in the movie-going culture, and it just pains me. I never thought I'd be the person to prefer watching a new film at home, but here we are, you know. And I think if they just lowered prices of just a bit, have better things to make the experience worthwhile, I think it could be good. And the studios need to make a different variety of films. And another thing, too, a failure for us audience members that can't afford to go. I'm tired of remakes and sequels and IPs. I want original films. That's great. What happens when there's original films? Nobody goes to see them. And you wonder why we could get Beetlejuice, or get a Wolverine coming back from the dead, or another Mad Max movie. You wonder why you get a TV adaptation. You have the 7th sequel. You wonder why you have Fast and Furious 11. You know, it's very interesting. There's a number of factors that go into this. And I just want to hear people out there, what's your experience been with the movie theaters? What do you love about them? What do you dislike about them the most? Especially this past year. I felt it more this year, that this is the aftermath of COVID and the strikes, and that it's changed. Now, I'm not saying it's the end. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine will definitely get asses in seats. And that's kind of funny considering how many people are like, comic book movies aren't cinema. Anything with a moving image is cinema. The theater used to be this majestical place to go to and have an experience with not only your loved ones, but with other people in your communities. And now, I could care less about going to the theater. It's just the way it is right now. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on what you love and dislike about the movie theaters. I just wanted to briefly talk about this and kind of get it off my chest, everything that's been going on. This summer's going to be pretty light on videos. Cross our fingers, we're going to get together with Movie Minders. We're going to go over watch party commentary on all the DCEU films. It still hurts me a bit to go over them, but we'll go over them. And then around Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm going to have a Marvel month with some like retro Marvel videos and retro plays of video games like The Punisher and other stuff from Marvel Comics. So we're going to try to change it up a bit and hopefully have some more original content in the second half of the year. Let me know your thoughts and memories of the movie-going experience and how it's changed in your lives so far down in the comments below. You can check out these other videos for more content. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Till next time, have a great summer.